Hello, this is the second video in my M3000 M4000 playlist. Previously I showed you the physical M3000 controller and showed you the internal web server. In this video I'm going to go through the steps required to get the controller working with Codesys and install your first Codesys application. So the related software and firmware required. You can use Codesys development software 3.5 Service Pack 18 or higher. You will need to install Codesys Control SL runtime onto the hardware, and the current version is 4.12.01. And you'll also need to install Codesys Control SL for UOS package, which is currently version 4.12.00, into your Codesys package using the Codesys installer. And you also want to be using the latest UOS firmware version 2.13. I've already gone through a video called First Time Connection to UOS Codesys Generic. Have a look at that, and that goes through in more detail where to find Codesys Control SL files and firmware files. So I won't be covering that here. Okay, so I'm now ready to connect to the controller's internal web server, so let's do that now. Okay, so this is the landing page of the controller, so you have to log in with the credentials you previously configured. I've just used the default admin and det mode, but please use your own and keep a record of. So if we log in, we go to the control center. Go to apps. The one difference with the M3000 and M4000 is it comes with absolutely no apps installed whatsoever. Before I can connect to the controller with Codesys, I need to install the Codesys Control SL. So we'll do that now. And this is actually done as an offline install. It's not available through the App Store. So here are the actual Codesys Control SL files for the various controllers. So the current one is 4.12.0.01. Okay, so I now go to Apps, Offline Installation, Upload File, point to the path where that file is held, and it is this one, M3000. Click on that, open, and that starts to upload the Codesys Control SWU file, which may take a few moments to install. Okay, so that has completed successfully. It took about a minute to install. So if I now go to Apps Manager, it says nothing's installed. Let's do a refresh, see if it picks it up. The Codesys Control app is quite a large app and does take a few minutes to get running, so this is why we're seeing a bit of a delay here. What I'm going to do is do a refresh, or maybe actually go back to the start page. Yeah, I think there's no getting around it, we just have to wait for it to complete the action. So the controller's actually rebooting, so I've lost connection at the moment. Okay, so we can try and go in the OS Control Center to see if the app is running. So go to Apps, wait for that to finish loading. Okay, so it's installed it, 4.12.0.01, the latest version as of February 25, still current, and we're just waiting for it to start. So as I say, that may take a minute. I'll try doing a refresh. There we go, it's all up and running. If I actually click into it just to show you what happens, tells you what version it is again, click on it, and it says no Codesys visualization webvisu deployed. So I can, and notice it's opened a new tab, so I can close that. So what that's actually saying is when I open there, if there was a visualization, a HMI visualization created within a Codesys project, that would be the way to access it. So if you wanted to, it is possible to create HMI visualization within Codesys itself rather than having a third-party HMI software. Okay, that's installed, but also one thing I wanted to show you here is all I've got is the option to open. There's no ability to upgrade the Codesys control or change the version in any way, which basically means every time a new version of Codesys control is launched by Weidmuller, the only way to install it at the present time, unfortunately, is to go into recovery, reset and restart and do a factory reset. And notice that your IP addresses will return to default, your login credentials will have to be recreated, and I would also suggest that if you had Node-RED, the actual Node-RED project would also be lost. So always, before you do a factory reset, try doing a backup to back up all your work, or you can back up Node-RED independently if you want to do that. So just be aware, whenever you upgrade the version of Codesys Control SL runtime on the hardware, you have to do a reset first back to factory defaults, unfortunately. Okay, so that is installed now. So in theory now I should be able to go to Codesys and connect to that controller and notice or make a mental note of the version of Codesys control. Okay, so I'm now going to open up Codesys. Okay, so now I have Codesys open, and you'll notice I'm actually running version 3.5 SP20 patch 2. It's not the very latest, but it's more than adequate for what we need to do today. So if I go new project, okay, so give the project a name, and I normally start with a standard project, so highlight that and OK. Then pick the controller, so it may be any one of these. It could be an IoT GW gateway. I've got an M3000 and my preferred language is continuous function sharp, but you've got other options: ladder, function block, structured text and sequential function sharp. Okay, so it just takes a few minutes to build the relationships and create a basic project. Just wait for that to complete. Okay, that's done. Some of them need to go online to the controller. So it's probably a good idea to just flick back to the browser and check the Codesys Control SL is running, and it is, so that's fine. So go online, log in, click no here, and then here you need to manually type in the IP address of the controller. Right, so you get this notice here. The mandatory use of the user management is configured for the device. This means in order to connect to the device, an active user management must be available. Would you like to activate it now? So we'll say yes. You get asked to create a new user, so I'm going to create a new user. I'll call it M3000 testing, because it's not the same, it doesn't have to be the same as the project, and give it a name and a password. And make a note of the username and password you've put here. And OK that. Oh, sorry, click keep password. I've picked a weak password. You should probably think of something a bit more sophisticated, so it's not easy to hack. OK. Then you need to put in the login credentials that you created when you installed Codesys Control SL. So mine was admin and detmold. Okay, that. And there we are, active path is set, the gateway's running and everything's okay, and the PLC is connected, everything's okay. So we've set the active path, but we've still not actually online yet. So we now go online, log in, and it now shows we're connected to the controller. Do you want to create the application does not exist on the device. Do you want to create it and proceed with the download? So we'll say yes. And you notice it's doing some work here. It's generating the code and downloading. Okay, so it's an empty project. There's no system bus configured. There are no programming elements. And it's in stop mode, which is fair enough, but at least we've confirmed we can do a download. You can then go into View, Security Screen, and you get this view here. And if I look at User, Project, Devices, and do a refresh, these are the certificates that are available on the controller. So let's have a look. Own certificates. So bear in mind, this is the first time I've turned the controller on. You have something called encrypted communications available to you, and as you notice here, it's valid for 30 days, which is not particularly long, so be aware that you may need to extend that period of time. Then you've also got trusted certificates, nothing there, untrusted certificates, nothing there, and quarantined certificates. So I'll talk about that in another video, but I just wanted to show you that by default you get this one called Own Certificate. You can right click into here and it says it's UCO. If you remember the name of the device, it was called a UCO. So it's valid for a month. You can look at a bit more detail, and this gives you the type of security. It is SHA-256 RSA, and you've got the dates there. Okay, so you can create a new certificate and then you can specify the length. So 365 days, you can go a lot longer. I can go 3650, 10 years. And it's now creating a new certificate for the encrypted communications, because at the end of the day, a month isn't very long. 10 years is probably more than likely the length of time the controller is going to be in use on your system. Okay, so I've now got encrypted communications greater than 1 year, and the old certificate, I would say I can click here and say delete. Okay, so we've downloaded the project. Yes, it's an empty project, but we've confirmed we've got comms to the controller. And if we didn't have the Codesys Control SL installed, then you wouldn't be able to download a project. Shut that window down now for security screen. The main purpose of this is to give you more secure connectivity between devices on different protocols. For example, you might use the certificates for OPC UA. So if you wanted to use OPC UA to talk to HMI, then you would use a certificate to ensure secure connection. So it's a bit more than just a username and a password. We go into the certificates. So you'd use OPC UA as an example. You'd use a certificate for that. So I will do another video explaining that in a bit more detail. So now I'm going to go offline. So go to the online area and log out. So this is not really intended to be a video training course on using Codesys. It's just really showing you how you get a Weidmuller controller talking to Codesys. Okay, so I think that's all I needed to show you in this video. I hope it's been helpful. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you again. Thank you.